Hello. On the 11th of March 2020, the WHO, World Health Organization, called game on the coronavirus.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
June 2020, Inovio Stock soared to an intraday high of $33 as they released positive news regarding their COVID-19 vaccine candidate, INO-4800. The stock pulled back and has yet to retest this level again. Why is that? I believe a huge incoming tidal wave is on the horizon. And once some of the pieces start falling together, the stars will start aligning. Let's drill into some breadcrumbs and numbers. Stay tuned. Keep it simple. For those of you new to this channel, I am the Simple Trader and I bring to you WPG stocks. Yes, explosive exponential potential growth stocks that I'm looking to buy or already have sitting in my freedom portfolio. I am not a financial advisor, so please note this is all for entertainment only. No more plugging. Let's start drilling. Okay, we Inovians have known for some time about the potential of Inovio's DNA-based vaccine platform. We now have the Phase 2 INO-4800 vaccine data to back it up. So what is holding Inovio back? In my opinion, it points to clues such as the ridiculous hold on the Selectra device by the FDA, which basically stalled Inovio for months and did not allow them to proceed in haste for their Phase 3 trials. I mean, shouldn't the FDA be speeding COVID-19 vaccine developments up, regardless of who it is? Now, listen to what Dr. Kim recently disclosed on this issue, which I believe we Inovians had a sense of all along.
The US FDA partial hold on our Selectra 2000 device has no bearing in any other territories. In fact, it's the same device that we had received CE marking from the EU several years ago. So most of the countries outside the US follow the CE marking for medical devices, the EU convention. So we feel very good about the acceptability of our device outside the US.
And also remember this, the sudden funding pullout by the DoD surely needs an explanation, considering they funded Phase 1 and 2 of INO-4800. I won't go into too much more speculation, since there is just so much that does not make sense. It would need hours just to go through it all. Just follow the money and follow the EUAs that have been granted. Look at the big pharma results. Pfizer pocketed $3.4 billion in revenues for their COVID-19 vaccine in the first quarter. Moderna also pocketed $1.7 billion for their vaccine. AstraZeneca pocketed $275 million in revenues for their vaccine. Does anyone actually ask who sets the price for these vaccines that the governments have bought? Where did that money come from? But more importantly, where has all the money gone, you ask? Up till now, there is still no answer to some of the most important questions to understand the whole pandemic, such as its origins. COVID-19 has already claimed 3.9 million lives worldwide to date and is not slowing down anytime soon. The fact that Inovio is being held back suggests to me there could be some foul play. I ain't a body language expert, so I may be wrong, but it may be madness. But just judge for yourself and look at the body language and hand gestures of Fauci here.
With Dr. Shi and Dr. Barak, they have collaborated on gain-of-function research where they enhanced the SARS virus to infect human airway cells, and they did it by merging a new spike protein on it. That is gain-of-function. That was joint research between the Wuhan Institute and Dr. Barak. You can't deny it.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Excuse me?
I will allow you to respond to that, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say, I don't know how many times I can say it, Madam Chair. We did not fund gain-of-function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute, conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
When we take a step back and look at the numbers, it's simply quite shocking.
Only a few companies are being allowed to make vaccines right now. Consider these numbers. More than 1 billion shots have been administered so far. 1 billion. 87% of these have gone to rich countries. 1 in 4 people in wealthy countries have got a jab. What about the poor countries? Just 1 in 500 have got a shot in these nations. Do you see the gap? 1 in 4 versus 1 in 500. According to a report, only 0.2% of the doses made so far have been dispensed to low-income countries.
And think about what Inovio has proven so far and tell me if it makes any logical sense to you.
The other advantages, as you know, are better temperature stability of our platform and INO-4800, as well as being able to safely and tolerably boost. We don't see the types of reactogenicity and safety signals as some of the other platforms I've seen.
I have said in my previous videos that the funding pullout by the DoD is a blessing in disguise that has literally set Inovio and more importantly INO-4800 free. Free to pursue its phase 3 study and once approved, supply to the rest of the world. Listen to Dr. Kim basically telling us, forget the FDA and forget the US.
And we think if we're successful, that would be the basis for emergency use license through the WHO mechanism, as well as other ex-US countries who still have those conditional or emergency use authorizations available right now.
This is big, as we know on the 1st of June, the WHO, World Health Organization, authorized Chinese vaccine maker Sinovac's Coronavac vaccine with an EUA emergency use authorization, and we know that in all likelihood Inovio's Chinese partner AdVaccine will proceed without delay their phase 3 trials of INO-4800, or as they relabeled it, PGX-9501. Those phase 3 trials of INO-4800, according to this article, will be carried out in Latin America and Asian countries. It is no coincidence that these are the countries struggling with the virus big time, and ones which have little or no access to the current EUA vaccines. Interestingly, along with their filed IPO in Hong Kong, on their website, they claim to have completed their round 5 investment and they managed to raise some serious cash. A side breadcrumb I found intriguing is that Inovio's Twitter account suddenly followed CEPI. Could this be a sign of things to come? COVAX, co-led by CEPI, the Vaccine Alliance, UNICEF and the WHO, works to supply vaccines to the poorer countries in the world. I believe once Inovio's INO-4800 achieves a phase 3 and the WHO EUA, it is then inevitable that COVAX will place large orders due to all the positives of INO-4800, but mostly on 2 factors, which is lower cost and no cold storage requirements. Now, many people seem to be doubting Inovio and Dr. Kim, but in all honesty, I think there are and have been dark forces holding Inovio back.
The dark side of the force is a pathway to many abilities,
which are, I believe, on the verge of breaking down. Just look at the numbers, right? Inovio has close to $500 million as disclosed in their first quarter results, so collateral is clearly not an issue. Inovio's short interest is still extremely high and close to 25%, and the institutional ownership is also close to 46%, which means the total float of 204 million shares leaves only 29% being the float, or 59 million shares. That is a small float, so any serious news or buying up of the stock could literally trigger a short squeeze, especially since we see there is a mere 650,000 shares available to short and a short borrow fee rate of 3.85%, which is huge when, and I believe it's only a matter of time, when Inovio releases positive news surrounding INO-4800 or AdVaccine releases positive news, then this is the play that could send the stock into beast mode. The fact that the stock price has trended up, albeit slowly, ever since the DoD funding pullout, where the stock plummeted to $6.85, emphasizes to me that if you truly believe in a company, its share price will always bounce back from brief or irrelevant setbacks. It briefly regained $10 on the 9th of June and is trading around $9 right now, which means a regained upside of over 31%. This goes to show that for companies where there is solid future prospects and growth, the stock price will always come back. To summarize, I believe Inovio stock is in line for a potential tsunami, hopefully towards the end of 2021, judging from what we have heard from Dr. Kim and the actions of Advaccine moving forwards. But more importantly, the clear breakaway from the FDA and the US. I believe the perfect storm scenario is gaining more and more strength as the critical pieces are falling into position. Remember, the float is small, and once solid news does break out, this could trigger an extremely violent squeeze out. Thank you for watching, and please note I am extremely bullish on Inovio stock long term, so please take this drill with precaution and always do your own due diligence. If you are interested in other WPG stocks that I have in my freedom portfolio, please check out my other videos and consider subscribing to my channel so you get the information first. I am the simple trader. I try to keep this simple, and I leave you with a snippet of Dr. Kim at the Jefferies conference, and see if you see what I can see for the application for the Inovio DNA platform moving forwards.
Of course, our most advanced program is our lead INO-4800. As I mentioned, the window of opportunity of executing an efficacy trial is open. And also tie into what we discussed earlier about the variants. And INO-4800's ability to cross-protect against those variants of UK variant, the Brazil variant, really is in our sweet spot. So we're going to go where those variants and the original strains are more dominant. And those are the areas of, you can imagine, Latin America, Asia Pacific, and so on. So there's plenty of regions that we can execute our trial. We overlay that with our own experience levels in those regions, as well as our CROs. So, we've selected a handful of great countries to do these trials. And we, as I mentioned, in the next few weeks, we will be able to articulate the full strategy and discuss with the public regards to what we're doing. But what I can share with you now is we're broadly on time and on schedule to start the summer of this case-driven trial. And we look forward to, I can't wait till we really are able to do that. That's what we've been focused on for the last several months. So I think that will be a huge milestone for Inovio, our stakeholders, and our shareholders, and the people around the world who need the vaccines as soon as possible.